So hopefully, hopefully everything's gonna have sound now. Hi, Kaylee. How you doing? Sound is work. Yeah, I'm working on it. Working on the sound here. Okay, it sounds like we're getting there. Let me boost it a little bit. Okay, thanks, Kaylee. I appreciate the heads up. That's why we do the testing, and this does not need to be making noises. So let me stop this. Kind of a last minute scramble here. That's all part of the fun, right? If it worked every time, where would be the challenge, right? Gotta have these things happen. It keeps us all human, reminds us that it's all highly fallible. And that's why we need to band together to make it all work. All right, so while I'm fumfering around here, just to make things a little bit more interesting, how about I start us off with a little bit of a trivia question here? Nothing hard, just something fun to play with while I'm getting everything ready here. Hopefully everybody can hear me now. Yes, hopefully. Daffy Dunk. Oh, I like that name. That's a good one, Daffy Dunk. All right, so let's see. Let me pick one of these. Here, we'll start with an easy one, okay? In computer science, what does GUI stand for? For GUI. So we'll see if anybody can come up with the answer to that one while I finish getting our ducks in a row. I've got 2 minutes. I got to get this all ready in 2 minutes. No pressure, right? It's fine. We can handle it. What's a little more pressure? It's just the way things go. Okay. And of course, I'm trying all these different apps here, and none of them are going to work today. So this is the first time that we're officially trying to go live with Periscope and Facebook at the same time. Now, those of you out on Facebook know that the challenge with Facebook is the chat, because it goes flying by, and if I don't happen to catch it, then it's gone forever. So of course I'm trying 2 different tools, and neither one of them seems to be working, which is just aces. That's all right. Maybe it'll catch up in a second here. We'll stay optimistic. All right, now let me just try to get in here. All righty. So anybody figured out the trivia question yet? Of course, I don't have all of my chats up, so that's going to be kind of a challenge. Good thing we're not looking to give anything away. So, okay. I know my name. Honest, I do. Really need to get a quiet keyboard, right? Okay. All right, we're making progress here. Is everybody having a good one? Hopefully. I certainly hope so. See your notification. Yeah, whatever. Fine, whatever. Yeah, because, Facebook, right now, this is the moment I need you popping stuff up at me. Oh, it's such fun. Alrighty. So, let's see here. I'm going to just say hello here to make sure that it's working. And it looks like it is. Okay. So, no takers here? Okay. Well, I'll hold on here. So again, for those of you who are just joining, because people are just coming in, the trivia question that we're asking is, in computer science, there you are, in computer science, what does GUI stand for? That's G-U-I. So you can take a minute and think about that while I get everything else in place. Alrighty, I think we're doing okay, other than the fact that, of course, none of my chat things are working. But what are we going to do? I can't believe nothing is going to work. That doesn't seem fair. It seems like something should work, even if it's not the one I expected to be working. Give me one more second. I'm going to just try this one more time. I'm going to do a refresh. Okay, so that might be why that's not working. Okay, well, that's to be expected then, I guess. All right, let me go to plan B. Yes, we always have a plan B here. It's very important in life. Alrighty. Okay, so we'll see if that's going to help us out at all. Okay, so since it may not help, those of you on Periscope, if I don't respond to you in any timely fashion, feel free to post it again, because it does look like the solution that I'm trying for it is just going to fail me. So we will keep working on that. Yeah, so we will. I'm sorry, was that AC? Please let you? I don't know what you were asking me to let you do. See, this is the problem, is I can't see everything. But we will wing it. One way or another, we're going to get this done. Alrighty. So, we'll dive in now, right? Let me make this one go away, because that's just going to be distracting. Okay, so the answer to the trivia question before I start was GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. Right? You probably already knew that one. Okay, so we're going to dive in now. Deep breath. Hi, my name is Kathleen Siddett. Welcome to the BA Zone Live. I'm so glad that you're here. We're getting things ready here. For those of you that haven't followed us before, we're just ramping up our live show. So to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, which is October, we decided that we would start doing a live show so that we could talk to you and get information to you in an even more timely fashion, plus get a little bit more interaction. So you can always feel free to throw comments in either on Periscope or Facebook, whichever one you're on. If you're on Facebook or Periscope, we do hope that if you know of anybody who might also enjoy this content, that you will invite or share with them so that they can come along on the journey. It's still going to be a little bumpy for a while as we're figuring it all out. Normally, I would have my partner in crime, co-founder with me, but unfortunately she's got laryngitis tonight, and that doesn't really work. I mean, while it is a visual medium, you do also need to hear us. So I told her to rest her voice, and I would muddle through on my own. So please have patience with me. I will do the best I can. So what we're going to do, the pattern's going to be, we're going to bring a topic every week. We're going to meet every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll always bring a topic, but you can always feel free to bring other questions, request other topics, whatever. We just bring a topic to get the ball rolling. But if you have questions, if you have problems, if you need a hand with something, that's why we're here. And that's why the rest of the community is here. So feel free to go ahead and chime in whenever you want. We're very informal here. We can change gears at any time. It's not a problem. Okay, so while we're getting it all ready, we're going to just go ahead and start. So the topic tonight is the top 10 skills that every BA needs. Now, absolutely, the list of skills is actually more along the line of like 10,000, but we thought we'd start easy and just start with the top 10. So let's get going here. Before we get into our topic for the evening, let me just do a little intro here. So again, welcome to the BA Zone Live. You'll see us here every week on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Do you want to learn how to use surveys as a way to collect information? That's a big part of our job as BAs, is collecting information so that we are armed with all the data that we need in order to make decisions and come up with plans. But when it comes to all these kinds of things, particularly with surveys, do you feel like you're always butting your head against the wall trying to figure it all out? If so, that's great, because next Tuesday, October 10th, we're going to talk about that very thing. This is something that we get a lot of questions about from people in our real life and from you fine folks out there. So we thought that that would be a good one to dive in. Hopefully Marianne will be here, because it'll be way more interesting if the both of us are here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with that topic, and we've also got some special things for you on that show. We'll hold that off until then. Okay, let me see now. Sorry. Right, okay, so like I said, next Tuesday we're going to do surveys. Sorry, getting into the flow here. And I hope that you'll join us. And if you will, I hope you'll put a big yes or throw some hearts into the comments so we know to expect you. We'll roll out the red carpet for you. Again, it'll be happening Tuesday, October 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you click on either Periscope or Facebook to follow us, make sure you turn on notifications. That way you'll get reminded before we go live. Okay? Oh, and by the way, if you do come next week, I recommend that you stick around till the end, because there is a little freebie that we're going to give away. Might as well just tell you what the title is. It's tied to the topic, so it's our Survey Guidelines ebook. It will be free, and if you stick around till the end of that show, I will give you all the information on how to get that. All right, so for today, let's kick things off, and we're going to talk about the top 10 things every BA needs. All right, let me switch the screen here. See, whoops. There we go. Okay. So basically, the skills that we're all using fall into, whoops, I don't know where that came from. Hang on. That was different. All right. So the skills that we're all using fall into three basic groups. So there's core skills, there's soft skills, and there are hard skills. Core skills are the basic functional skills that are required to do our job day to day, and we'll get into that in a minute. Soft skills are more like the character traits, interpersonal skills that factor into how we do our job and how we relate to the people that we're dealing with and how we adjust to different types of people that we have to deal with. As BAs, we're working with a very wide audience. So because of that's what makes our job interesting, but that also means that we have to be able to adjust our style to work with all the different people that we're working with. So those are soft skills. We'll get into that in a minute. And then there's also the hard skills. So those are the specific teachable things that can be defined and measured. So those are the things that if you don't have them to start off with, you shouldn't panic because you can always learn them as you go along. But it's things like typing, writing, math, reading, and the ability to use the basic software programs that we all get to use. Okay, sorry, I should probably go to picture-in-picture here, shouldn't I? Let me flip that over. Okay, so among the core skills that we all need, number one, hands down, is strong communication skills. We need to be able to talk to all the people that we need to talk to in a language that they understand. We have to be able to draw out the information if they're not comfortable giving it to us, but do it in a way that doesn't feel uncomfortable to them. We also need to be able to communicate in other ways, whether that's email or writing documents, creating graphics. The trick for us is to communicate in the language that works best for the people that we're talking to, and there's no one solution that's going to cover that for everybody. So communication skills are absolutely key, and that's why that's number one. Number two, high tolerance for ambiguity and the ability to create structure. So the reality of what our job is when we start off on everything, it's all incredibly fuzzy. There's some need, there's some problem, they're not exactly sure, they think it might be this, it could be that. There's a lot that's still kind of up in the air. And even in the cases where they think they know what it is that they want us to solve or what kind of a solution to come up with, it may not be that that's exactly the problem, and we may need to dig a little deeper to find out for sure. And you have to be comfortable with that because that's just the reality of the work that we're doing. It's our job to take all these different pieces, dig around, find the missing pieces, and then be able to apply structure to that, and then be able to layer on top of that and rebuild it as necessary as new information comes in. So that is a key piece of our world. And tied to both of those, of course, as a core skill is being a good listener. You have to be able to listen and absorb information. You have to be able to analyze it. You have to be able to put it into the context that it needs to be in. And you need to be able to pick up on what may be unsaid or only suggested in what people are telling you. And you have to not be afraid of a little bit of silence, which is kind of funny considering how fast I talk. But I really can do this, especially when I'm collecting data for requirements. You need to give people time to think. There might be in a big rush to give all the information to you because they're excited about it or they're on a short time frame. But don't be afraid to let that silence linger just a little bit, because sometimes that gives other information a chance to bubble up. Okay, next. Now we're going to get into the soft skills. So this one starts off with negotiation skills. So again, because we're dealing with all of the different people involved in this project across all different departments and all different levels of the hierarchy, there's going to be differences that come up. And while our job is not necessarily to be the arbitrator, that may still need to be taken care of, because we want to make sure that everybody stays on the same page and everybody is working together. And we need to make sure that we can guide people to an agreement or at least an understanding without letting it get to the point of arguments and hurt feelings and yelling and all that kind of stuff, because that doesn't help any process. The other part of this is also to make sure that you're listening, to make sure that they're actually arguing about something, because a lot of times you'll be involved in a situation and people will start to get fired up, but really if you listen closely you'll find out that they are actually talking about the same thing, they're just phrasing it differently. So you need to make sure that you can capture that moment right away and point out to them and explain across the table what's really going on and get them back on the right track. Another important soft skill is decision making. It's amazing how afraid of decision making, well, some people are, and we can't be. We have to be willing to, take the information, evaluate it, and then come up with the best plan or a plan A and a plan B and put it out there and make the decision to move forward. because otherwise everybody's going to sit there spinning their wheels. Somebody has to take that step forward. Even if it turns out it's not the right direction, you won't find that out until you start. So it's better to go ahead and make the decision based on all the information you've got. I mean, you want to make smart decisions. You don't want to just randomly start jumping off things. But by the same token, somebody's got to make the decision, and that may as well be us. Hi, Mayor. I'm glad you're there. It's good to know that you're out there. Feel free if you want me to pass along some information, just throw it on in here. That's fine. And I'm going to try again one more. Periscope people, I am really sorry because this is... Oh, wait. Might be working? Kind of. Okay, so it looks like we've got some people following us. If you're on Periscope and you want to throw a comment in, go ahead and try, because it looks like this tool might be working, although it's moving a little bit slow. But if you want to give it a try or throw some hearts or whatever, just let me know that it's working. Like I said, this is the first time that we're going live on Periscope at the same time as Facebook, so I'm sure there's some bugs that need to be worked out. Alrighty, let's go back here to our list. So we are going to do, number 6. Number 6 is flexibility. So this is the, sorry, let me get the picture off of that there. You can't see with my picture on top of it. There you go. This is the ability to be agile and flexible, and again, adapt to the situation that you're in. Sorry, you need to take a little water there. So you need to be flexible about changes in the project as they come along. You need to be able to be flexible to deal with all the different departments. Again, they're all working maybe on the same project, but because they're coming at it from a different point of view, they're going to have different priorities, and you need to be flexible about that. You need to be able to balance it out across the board. So another important skill to have. All right, now we're going to get into the hard skills. So, analytical skills. These are, of course, the core of what we're doing. This includes, designing and implementing tests, doing the forecasting, doing your gap analysis, research, statistical analysis, assessments, blah, 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 all that good stuff. There's a lot under this one, and that's why we get paid to do the job that we do, because not everybody can do this. And I mean, that's part of what keeps our work interesting, is the fact that there's so much diversity in what we do every single day. It's the one thing I always tell my team members is that, the good thing about our job is we'll never be bored. The bad thing about our job is we'll never be bored. There's always a lot to juggle. And this is a big part of it, is these hard skills, all these analytical skills, because it's about taking what to most other people may look like chaos and organizing it and structuring it and presenting it back in a way that makes it clear to everybody so that everybody's able to make the best decisions moving forward. Let me just check and see if Mara's got anything to say on that one. No? Okay. Leave me out here hanging, Mara. Come on, throw something in there. Okay, number 8. Facilitation and elicitation skills. So this, again, is a very basic but vital part of what we do. You have to be able to run meetings. Even if you're not officially the person who called the meeting, you will be called on to keep it moving, to have the materials ready, to have the discussion points ready, and to keep track of what was discussed and the topics that need to be covered in the next meetings. So this is, so sometimes they're called jazz sessions, sometimes they're requirement workshops, whatever titles they put on it, they're going to be looking to you to move it along, even if you're not the person whose name was on the meeting invite. And you need to be making sure that the right questions are being asked and that you're actually getting answers on them. A lot of times, and so this was happening to me all day today. It was one of those days. We had our 2-hour meeting with stakeholders, and this has been going on for a couple of weeks, and people are getting a little fried. So I tried to change it up a little bit, and I brought some really rough wireframes which they hadn't seen yet, which did help, and it moved it along. But then, people started talking about the ball game and then this other stuff, and I had to keep bringing them back. And we've got this list of questions that we're trying to get answered, and we'd brought in people from other departments because we needed their input. But of course, because they hadn't been involved in the other meetings, which was a decision that had been made by other people, there was a little bit of frustration from those folks. So I had to balance that out. all the while making sure that we were getting the answers that we brought them in the room for, because we don't want to keep having these meetings. We want to move forward. We've got to get our answers. And those people, you know, their time is tough. That's why they weren't in the other meetings. It's tough to schedule and get everybody in the same room. So that is a key part of what you've got to do. You've got to make sure you've got your list of questions, that you're listening to the answers and being aware and jumping in if those answers are now raising more questions, because you want to maximize the amount of time you get with these stakeholders. You're not going to get them coming back, you know, every minute, and you're not going to be able to run to them every minute when you've got a question, because most of them, their schedules are booked out for weeks. So it's really key that you're organized and you're structured and you've got your notes in front of you and you're catching all these things in the moment so that you're getting the most out of each one of those sessions. Next up, visual modeling. Like I mentioned, the wireframes. So this is also important. You've got to keep in mind, you've got to remember that everybody processes information differently. And even, you know, the same group of people may be processing it differently given the reality of their day, if they're tired, if they're distracted, and so forth. So you always want to make sure that you're presenting information in different formats. Some people are going to do really well with the written word. Some people need to have you sit there and explain it to them. Some people need visuals. The best part for me about the visuals is when you are talking about something or when you are communicating it in writing, there's always a chance that while people are saying, yes, they understand, they all might have a different picture in their head. But when you are showing them a visual and everybody's looking at the same visual, you're greatly increasing the odds that everybody has the same picture in their head. So this is a very critical skill. Now, don't get hung up on it. You don't have to be an artist. That's not the point. The point is it just needs to be good enough to communicate the idea. So whether you're doing it on a whiteboard or you're scribbling on a piece of paper or you're using some tool, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever works best, don't get hung up on, you know, the shading and the perspective. Concentrate on communicating the ideas across. And if you really need, you know, something fancier later for some big presentation to the board, you can always go to the graphics department and they'll help you out. They're good people there. All right, number 10. Problem-solving skills. That's kind of a repeating pattern on this list if you've noticed. So again, that is what we do for a living, is we solve problems. And part of that is seeing the problem. Part of that is seeing the gaps. Some of that is seeing the different pieces and seeing how they can go together in different ways. But this is the core of what we do, and it is critical to the success of all of our projects. It's not enough to identify the problem and collect the data. We actually have to come up with solutions. Now, it's not always just a here's the solution thing. Usually it's, okay, well, you know, here's one way to go, and here's a variant of that, and here's another way to go. And very often the solution that's selected is a combination of the best pieces of that. So that's another thing that we need to be able to do. We need to be able to come up with different solutions. We have to be able to put the work in to present them all clearly, and we have to live with the fact that 70 to 80% of the work we do is going to get tossed, but it's a good thing because what's coming out of that is the best of all of the work that we did. So that is our top 10 list. I hope that you found that helpful. Let me see if anybody has any questions or comments here. Okay. Oh, good. Well, it's good to see people are showing up. I do appreciate that. Yeah, sure. I'll just run through the list again. One sec. Let me jump out of this so I can get back to it. Come on. Where's my little controls? There we go. All right. So yeah, I'll just run through them, 1 to 10 again. So basically what we covered was that there's three basic areas, 3 groupings of skills. So there's the core skills, the soft skills, and the hard skills. Then our top 10 list is strong communication skills is number 1. High tolerance for ambiguity and the ability to create structure is number 2. Being a good listener is number 3. Negotiation skills, number 4. Decision making is number 5. Flexibility is number 6. Analytical skills are number 7. Facilitation and, I'm sorry, I flipped through that too quick. I already forgot. Facilitation and elicitation skills. So basically that's running meetings and collecting data. Those are just the fancy words for it. 9 is visual modeling, and 10 is problem-solving skills. So that is our list for today. Oh, hi, Amy. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Don't apologize for being late. We're all busy. That's why replays are so important, right? Yeah, so that's what we've got today. I hope that that was helpful to you. Just as a reminder, so next week we're going to do a session on surveys. And as a part of that is we're going to be offering a free ebook on survey guidelines, but we're not going to give you the information on how to get that until next week. So I do hope that you will come join us. Thank you so much, you people on Periscope, for muddling along with us. I think it kind of worked. I do just need to figure out the whole commenting thing. I'm really disappointed that it didn't work again, but it kind of started to work at the end. I see a couple of your comments here saying hi and all, and I do appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Okay. Sorry, I just lost where I was talking. That's what happens when I'm juggling. That's why I have to write everything down. I'm terrible if I don't write things down. Okay, so as I said, next week we're going to do surveys. There's going to be a free ebook for those of you who couldn't come to that one. If you have any questions, comments, if you have topics you want us to cover, feel free to let us know. That's why we're here. We're here to do this for you. You can leave us a comment on Facebook if you'd like, or you can go to our website, which is thebazone.com. There's a comment form there under Contact Us. You can let us know what your question is. You can give us topics that you want us to cover, whatever you like. We're also out there on Twitter and Google+. Go ahead, Amy, laugh. And we're on Instagram. So I started doing the live Instagram thing before the show. So if you really want to entertain yourself, you just see me. And plus, if you go to the one I just did for today, because they go away after 24 hours, but I did one before we started this. And you can see my doggy Murphy on that one. I figured at least that would be more interesting. So feel free. We tried to make it really easy for everybody to contact us in whatever way they prefer. We do recommend and request that you follow us. So if you follow us on Facebook and or Periscope, you will get notifications about when we're going to go live. I'm not sure. I think that also happens if you go on Twitter. I'm not sure. I have to test that. And if you know of anybody who would like to join our party, please feel free to invite them. The more the merrier. We're nice here. Everybody's welcome. All right. Is there anything else? Murphy, yes. Murphy's my sweetheart. He wouldn't come in tonight. I was going to bring him up and have him in my lap when I started the show, but he's hanging out on the sofa watching TV. So, you know, teenagers. He's 2 years old now, so I'm kind of getting the teenage eye roll thing from him a lot. He's such a hoot. All right. Well, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap up because I'm starting to lose my voice. Thank you again so much for coming by. I do appreciate it. And we will be back again next week. Hope everybody has a good night. Bye. Oh, wait, I forgot. Let me see if this works. I almost forgot the fun stuff.